What is going on, everyone? My name is Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Down here with Jon Garrett, ARCA Menards Series driver. Jon, I've got to ask you first, how did you get your start in racing?
I got started in 1994 on a local dirt track in Tyler, Texas, running street stocks. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, like I said, I lived in East Texas for 7 months, so I know a few things about that. And you've had quite a few accomplishments, too. What else have you done, starting out your career, too? Because a lot of people in the NASCAR world don't know what you've done beforehand.
Right. I ran street stocks up until 98. We ran up at Devil's Bowl in Dallas in the worldwide street stocks, which was pretty cool and fast. Won quite a few races. Then we moved to the American Race Truck Series, which was a short track asphalt touring spec truck series. They ran all over the United States. We were primarily in Texas, but I won the championship there in 2002 and ran for a few more years, and then was pretty much dormant until 2022 Daytona test for ARCA.
Gotcha. And then I see, obviously, too, with Athens screen printing on that. How did you get into the screen printing business?
Weirdly, everything has kind of come through racing. I met a guy, Greg Davis, when I was racing trucks, who owned Fort Worth Screen Printing. He asked me to come to work for him in 06, and I've been there ever since. We started another location, Athens Screen Printing. And through all that, I've met all these people in the racing world, and here I am.
And another thing you do is you stream, you're streaming your iRacing as well, and that's what all the, the hip young kids do. I'm just curious how you got started in that and you were able to grow that brand.
Yeah, my son turned me on to Twitch a few years ago, and I'm like, people pay to watch people play games? He's like, yeah, it's a big thing. And I got on there, and it kind of started up during the 2020 stuff going on. That's when I got back into racing and started streaming and started meeting people. And last year when I ran Talladega for Andy, pretty much the Twitch iRacing community helped me fund that race, which was great. I mean, I had a ton of names on there. Looked like your typical NASCAR with lots of stickers, but it was great. They all come together and helped me, and quite a few of those still help me today.
Last week, you had a very interesting sponsor, Lick'em Stick'em. Well, not last week, but it was at Kansas, your last race. Lick'em Stick'em. How did that come to be?
That is a local Athens company, or East Texas company, that provides it's deer attractant for hunters, stuff like that. He was actually in the store buying some stickers for his packaging, and I happened to walk by and look at it because they don't let me out of my office. I just stay in the office, and I don't really know what's happening out there. But I walked by, I'm like, hey, that looked cool in the car. Told my CSR to contact him, and he's like, yeah, that'd be great. And then, a couple weeks later, he's on the hood for Kansas.
It's a pretty interesting story, too. And I'd like to dive a little bit back, too. Did you have any role models when you got into racing the first time? A little bit back in dirt track racing days. My brother was helping to go on a dirt track, and that's how I went out there and started watching and decided I could do it. There was a local guy, Kenny Callison, that ran late models on dirt, and I guess he was my first role model. Being 53, Cale Yarborough was always my favorite driver growing up, and I'd have to say recently, Bailey Curry is kind of my mentor. I started helping him a little financially in 2019, and I've kind of helped him a little ever since. And the guy that helped him growing up, Michael Harper, is actually the guy that told me I need to go do the Daytona test. I'm like, they're going to let me do a Daytona test. It's like, yeah, you've got credentials, it's good. And so that's all kind of from Bailey. He helped me get going, and every time I go to a new track, which today, Charlotte's going to be a new track, I get some pointers from him, and he's more than willing to help me, and it's paid off. And what advice would you have to younger drivers? A lot of the ARCA field is younger drivers, development of drivers. If, say, a new driver comes up to you, what's the first thing that you say to them?
I would say go out there and don't do anything dumb. Don't make enemies right off. That's kind of what I've tried to do. I want to finish good, but I don't want to move anybody out of the way or wreck anybody or do anything stupid. Like last lap at Kansas, which I hated it. Last lap we get lapped. But I tried to make sure that I stayed out of the way of the leaders. And I didn't stop because I was battling the 69 for position for 13th. But I stayed out of their way, and I hope that Jesse knew in his mind when he saw me that, hey, this guy's going to stay in one place. He's not going to move up and get in my way and cost me the win. So, yeah, just make friends out there. And also, even though you're young, your dream is to race. If things don't pan out, that doesn't mean they're not going to pan out later, because I'm 53-year-old rookie here.
And driver number 66, you can catch him while in the ARCA Menards Series, running full-time in the ARCA Menards Series. That's it from all at Frontstretch.com. Make sure to subscribe, and as always, make sure to have a great race weekend.
This is Parker Chase. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and check out some of our other videos over here on the right. And be sure to visit Frontstretch.com for more racing content.